Good afternoon. This is Slow Adder coming at you from Slow Adder Acres on this beautiful sunny Northern California afternoon. It's a little bit windy. Just got back from about a 150-mile freeway run with my son on the two. We took out the two Panigales. So what I wanted to go over here is the break-in period for the different bikes, and also kind of Slow Adder's evolution, which bike he bought first, kind of how I got up, and some safety tips. So on my first bike, it just turns out that the more comfortable bikes are on the right, and the more bent over bikes are over. I don't want to say uncomfortable, but the more aggressive seating positions are on the left. And it just turns out this is the order I bought these motorcycles in. So I bought the 2022 Himalayan first. It's got about 5,000 miles on it. So I ride this one a lot. You know, old logging trails, dirt roads. It's not really a, it's not a trail bike. For riding trails, I borrow a friend's. He's got a motocross trail bike, but this thing's too heavy and a little bit too sloppy. For like the trails around here are really gnarly. So if you rolled this down the hill, you wouldn't get it back out. But anyway, so I use this for like, and it's a dual use. So it's licensed on the road. So I drive it, I can drive it out to the dirt roads and trails and fire trails and just ride around in the backcountry Sierras on dirt roads. So that's what I use this for. And I also use it to go, I got the side bags. I bought the panniers, these metal pieces, and it also moved the tail lights out here. I have videos on that. And then I have these saddle bags. I can have like about 4 bags of groceries on here, or if I need to go to Home Depot and buy paint, I can buy buckets of paint, all kinds of stuff. So this is a good workhorse for, you know, getting the mail, going on trail rides, camping out overnight in the national parks. So this is kind of like my mini adventure bike. Again, it's a Royal Enfield Himalayan 411, and this is the camo paint job. The newer ones now have the alloy wheels. I like the spoke wheels better. Personally, I mean, it gives it that more retro look, which I was looking for. So this bike's very comfortable, and I've been riding motorcycles since the 70s, but there's been a gap when I was raising my kids of about 30 years. So this is my first bike after that gap. So this was kind of my getting reacquainted bike. And then after that, of course, I went up to the next level. And I'm like, I want a Ducati. So I ordered this in 2022. I got it in March 2023. Ordered it from the factory. So this is the 2023 Ducati Diavel V4. And I believe this was the first one in California. So I got the first one. It's got a little over now 22,000 miles on it. I'm on my 3rd set of tires. I've done a lot of modifications to it. This bike's pretty comfortable. Again, I bought it because it's got the mid seating position, and it's got the handlebars instead of the clip-on. So instead of being down here, you're up here a little higher. You know, you're not like this, like a cruiser, but it's kind of in mid between a cruiser, and it's kind of sport bike-ish, and it does have 168 horsepower. I did put the Termagani dragster exhaust on it. You could see it's got 2 exhausts here and 2 on the other side. And that boosts, I think the horsepower now is about 185 horsepower. The Moto Million folks have a whole video how they dynoed a similar bike with the same setup as mine. So it has the Termagani titanium dragster exhaust that I installed myself. And then I have the up map on it that from Termagani, which deletes the 2-cylinder mode. So this is always in 4-cylinder mode. And it changes all the fuel air mixtures, and it really makes a big difference, and it sounds cool. And then I put a lot of wrap on it, and I modified the intake system to get 2.5 times the airflow. So a few things like that. And so this bike, I pretty much drive it every day to work and back. It's my freeway workhorse. So I like to ride it on the freeway, because here in California, people in the slow lane are going 80 or 90 miles per hour. So when you get on the freeway, you got to be doing 80 or 90 on the on-ramp, and then it's just fast moving traffic, and you'll be doing 100, 110 before you know it, easily. And this bike, it handles it. It's like you don't even notice it. You look down, you're doing 115, you're like, whoa, okay, let me slow down a little bit. But it handles it. And so I have about a 50-mile commute on the freeway to work, and then 50 miles back. So that's a 100-mile round trip. So that's how I get a lot of miles on it, because I go to work. I'm supposed to work at home, but I go to work more than I should. So I think my boss likes that. So I'm always in the office, because I get to ride my motorcycle. So anyways, we'll fire this up so you hear the exhaust. All right, so hopefully you heard that. And again, I ride this rain, snow, sleet, wind. It's been in all weather conditions, because I live up in the Northern Sierra foothills at about 3,000 feet. So we get snow and rain, and boy, things rock solid. I am on my third set of tires. So you get about 6,000 to 7,000 miles on the tires. And these are the Diablo Rosso 3s. This is the 240 that goes in the back. And also, in a few days, I have a new chain and a rear and front sprocket that's going to be replaced at the dealership. So that's going to cost $800. It's about $650 for the parts, and then also it's about another $150 for the labor. So I'll just have them do it. Just kind of lazy. I did just make a video showing how you take the rear wheel off of this. You could take the rear wheel off this if you have the right tool and set up in 5 minutes. So I show you how to do that, because that's a real difficult thing, and you see people struggling with it. And it's really easy to get it off if you have the right tools. The breaker bar and a few other things, it comes off in literally 5 minutes. And you just put it back on. All right, so that's that bike. So the next bike I bought was the GT650. So I just love this thing. My two boys wanted to ride motorcycles together, so I had this bike was mine that I rode with them, and then one of my sons would ride the Himalayan, and so we bought a second bike. They're twin boys, they're 20, so they would ride this, the GT650. So we made a few modifications. We put the Red Rooster exhaust on it. That probably gives you like 5 horsepower, and it's much louder. It sounds cooler. So let's fire this baby up, and I will put it in neutral. Let's put this bad boy in neutral. Should have done that already. So this is a bad boy. It's a 5-speed. I think it's got 50 horsepower. It's got the spoke wheels. And again, this is a 2023. And then the new ones come out with the aluminum cast wheels, and I think it looks cooler with the spokes. So this is a very retro bike. I love it. It's got about 4,000 miles on it. I'm gonna put like a Pirelli. This tire is almost worn through it, 5,000 miles. So I'm gonna put a nice Pirelli racing tire on the back and front, and I'm also gonna beef up the front brakes with some stickier brake pads. And if that doesn't work, I'll add a better braking system. So I mean, it's good the way it is, but when you ride the Ducatis, you notice it's a little lacking in the suspension and braking area. But I mean, this thing, it's fun to ride, and people love this and the Ducati. They love these bikes. People love these bikes. So the next bike I bought was this is a 2024 Panigale V2. So I have twin boys, so I had to buy twin bikes. So these are this bike here. I bought all the parts for the tail delete, the mirror delete, put the turn signals up here, the bar and mirrors, and then we put I put the matching pinstripes on the gas tank and on the side of the bike to match my Diavel here. So they're all matching red, of course. Took off the, removed this cover here. There's a black cover that covers up the shock. We always wear leather pants or motorcycle pants, so I'm not worried about pinching my fingers or anything. So this bike, like I said, it's already had its first service. It's got about 1,000 miles on it, so it rips because you can just get the full power. It's got 155 horsepower. And I think the only thing we're gonna do is, this actually doesn't look too bad. So we're probably gonna leave it, and we're just gonna put we're gonna remove these mirrors and put the, put the bar end mirrors with the low profile headlights, and that's it. I think this bike will be finished, because I do like the visibility of the license plate here, and it doesn't, when you're back, it doesn't look bad. The reason I couldn't keep the Diavel one is because it had this big honking thing that really hid the rear tire, and these don't do that. So with this bike, we're gonna leave it as is, and we're gonna do the same thing to this. We're gonna just put the bar end mirrors, delete the mirrors, and put the low profile front turn signals. And so this bike, just picked this up 2 weeks ago, ordered both of these from the factory. These are kind of hard to get, so had to order that one, then ordered this one. It takes these ones take about 4 weeks to get. The Diavel took like, that took like 3 months, because it was a brand new model year. So, and when you get them, they have exactly 4 miles, which is good. So they're brand new out of the box. So this one has 440 miles, I think, as we said before. And it doesn't have the first maintenance yet. That happens at 650 miles. So once that happens, it's rev limited now. It redlines at 6,000. So you're kind of bogging, but you have to do that for the first 650 miles to wear in the Desmos and the valve rings and the gearbox. So we spend a lot of time going through the twisties, going 40 to 80 miles an hour, shifting up through the gears. And then this one's already had that done. And so when it goes to the dealership, they do the oil change, they do the first service. They lube everything, check all the nuts and bolts to make sure they haven't cracked. And I think they also do they do a factory up map that now lets it rev up to full power, like 12,000. And so this thing rips, 155 horsepower. And I think this is pretty much, it's kind of like riding probably a super sport, because it only seems to have about 100 horsepower, but that's just because so that's the difference. So when you first get it, the first 650 miles is, I'm not saying it feels slow, it's still very fast. I was just driving it, pretty fast on the freeway. I won't say any numbers here, so there's no incrimination evidence. I used to put videos like that, but it looks like some people are getting arrested for going on the freeway. But anyway, so once they upmap this will be at full power, so you can rip. And typically when I drive these things, these Panigales, they like to cruise at 7,000 or 8,000 miles an hour, just like, bah! They love that. So that's how I drive my Diavel as well. 7,000 or 8,000, bah! I'm just ripping it. And that's how it's supposed to be done, because it redlines it at 12,000. So I shift at 8,000 or 9,000, and then I cruise at 7,000 or 8,000 or higher. Sometimes I cruise at 9,000 RPM, but that's how these bikes like it. But for the first 650 miles, you don't want to do that. This is kept below like 6,000, 5,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 6,000, 5,000. That's what you do. You shift around on the freeway. And that's pretty good, because you can go about 85 miles an hour doing that. So you're limited to about 85. I mean, you could go faster, but you don't want to damage a brand new motorcycle, because you're wearing in the piston rings, all the bearings, the piston bearings, the gears. You want to be shifting through the gears. You're wearing in the chain. You're wearing in the brakes, and that was really noticeable. The first 50 miles when I first got on the second one, I was like, whoa, that was really like, the brakes are really soft. So just be careful. If you get a new one, don't go ripping on it until after the first service, because it's got to wear in. And then the new tires have a coating on it that takes about 100 miles, in my opinion, to wear off. So you don't want to hit like a hard corner or something. So anyways, I really like these bikes. I have another video on the riding position, so it's interesting. So they're in the order of when I bought it. That's the first one with the easiest riding position, the Himalayan. The second one, the Diavel, with the very similar, just lower handlebars. This is a Cafe Racer. This is the third bike I bought. It's got a little bit more aggressive. It's got lower handlebars, and it's got a little, not quite mid, a little behind mid. And then of course the Panigales had the full tucked low clip-ons with the rear sets. So you're sitting way back. But I mean, I can ride all these bikes comfortably, so you just have to get used to it. My favorite bike, I will say, is the Diavel V4, of course, because I'm an old 60-year-old man, so I like my comforts. I can ride these bikes all day, it's fine, but you know, it's a little bit more tiring because I gotta assume the position, but it's fine. You get used to it. It's a good workout on either of these bikes, and especially since they're naked, you get that wind in your face, which I like. I love it. So that's a real motorcycle. If you're not getting bugs in your teeth, it's not motorcycling. All right, with that, review some of your questions. Slow Rider out.